Dutch bike. Well, I don't know if it's actually from 1950. I know it's from the 50s. That's all I know. So we've got a 1950s DCR Dutch bike, and it's in need of some dire repair, which I will not be doing. You will see me slightly fixing this bike enough so that I can write it here in a repair video, but this bike is not going to be restored. It requires way too much work for it to ever become moderately comfortable to ride again. The frame is bent, the handlebars are bent, it's old and rusted, it's beyond help. So it's not going to be restored. But you definitely will see me repairing it enough to be ridden in an upcoming video. Anyway, on with the tour. Alright, well, here's the bike. So, this bike has a somewhat interesting story. I mean, I don't know the entirety of it, but I do know that it was made in, well, this part was made in England. So, different parts of this bike were made in England. Certain parts of it were made over in Holland and areas like that. But it is for the Dutch market, so that's where it originally was sold. Eventually it made its way to Canada into the hands of a man named Don, who owns a bike store, Spokes and Sprockets. You've heard me mention it in the credits and sometimes in dialogue before. But that's where it was, and it was used as like a signpost. They had it hanging up with like reflective ribbons and things, and that's actually what some of the stuff is left over from. This is a little nub that had like tassels coming down off the handlebars. This had a flag post coming off of it, and if you look at the tires, you can see this streaking pattern. And what that is that the yellow parts that are still the original color were covered by a reflective yellow paper, and then the grayer parts of what was actually exposed to the elements. So I'll show you a picture of that right here. Anyway, the bike is, you know, your pretty average 1950s cruiser bike. It's got your rod operated brakes that operate like this. They pull a rod upwards and that actuates the brake rather than a cable. The back brake operates in the same principle, however it's a lot longer. It goes all the way down here and the brakes actuate like that. It's actually a really interesting system, and I mean, it's not super effective. I mean, they're not the best brakes, but they're super reliable. I mean, these are brakes that are, what, 60, 70 years old, and they're still working just fine. So, I mean, that's great. The front here, you can see the DCR badge, which has, you know, seen better days. I think this bike was painted black originally, so that's what that would suggest. But, I mean, looking at most of the bike, you'd never really know because it's just absolutely covered in rust. It's been outside for several years, so it's to be expected. You've got a nice huge headlamp here at the front. I love this. And it's operated by this dynamo right here. So if you don't know what a dynamo is, it just works like this. You release that, excuse me, and then there, you see how it's touching the tire? So when the tire moves, this spins around and generates electricity, and it goes up to the cable and it operates the light. And I believe it would have had a backlight originally too, because there's a cable sticking out of the frame here. However, whatever light that is long gone now. The seat is a pretty standard spring seat. It's got some coil springs to back and some mounts for a bag. It's also got a very weird looking like hump here. I don't know what's going on there. It's not tremendously comfortable, but it's not bad. And we've got some very nice fenders, so it's cool. I mean, these are original stickers, which is cool. So DCR, that's neat. I'm surprised they've even held up at all. But yeah, the only spot on this bike on the actual frame that isn't rusted in some way, I think, is actually this chrome piece at the front fender. So that's, I mean, that's pretty cool. The rims are in relatively good shape. I don't think they're bent. Some of the spokes are very rusted, but they do seem like they'd still be rideable wheels if I put them on a different bike. So that's good. Pedals are absolutely melted to crap. Like, these are garbage. This is like how the red bike's pedals were, the 37 CCM. Its pedals were like this, but this is much, much worse. And now you can see what I'm talking about. The crank is severely bent. This should be a straight line. It is very much not. And so actually, on every single stroke, it hits some part of the frame. That's actually just that hitting the pedals. But it hits the frame usually when you're pedaling. I've managed to bend it just enough that it can clear it, but it's not exactly smooth. And it's also got the issue of this very, very bent chain guard that keeps rubbing on the chain in several places, like right here. So no matter what I do, it keeps bending back, so that's kind of not really salvageable. And the other pedal is also all gummy and not good. So yeah, that's the bike. Not much more to say about it. Just look at it. It's nice. Well, we're riding. It's not very comfortable though. Thank you everybody for watching. Unfortunately, there is no outro this week because I completely forgot to record one. So the video is just going to end here. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next episode. Bye-bye.